One of my favorite ways to play Lorcana is theme decks. It's a more casual way to play, but it's still really fun and really thematic. Let me tell you about it. So what are theme decks? Or as some other people call them, franchise decks. It's a deck where all the cards belong to a single franchise. Because you are limited to a single franchise, your card pool is reduced significantly, which makes decks to be of a lower power level, makes games more interactive and interesting. It gives you the opportunity to play cards you would normally not play, and they are extremely flavorful. And that's why it's one of my favorite ways to play casual. I have a couple of videos in the channel with recorded gameplay of theme decks. I encourage you to take a look if you want to see how these decks actually play. But today I'm going to tell you about 5 decks that I particularly like and I think they're very interesting for a theme deck. First one is going to be Lilo and Stitch. Lilo and Stitch is your traditional Amber Steel Aggro deck. For the Lilo and Stitch deck, I went for a budget-friendly list like this. If you have the budget and you want to make it better, you can always play the Legendary Angel and Ohana Means Family, and the deck becomes significantly better and also significantly more expensive, but I don't think you really need it. You got the 1-cost Lilo Making a Wish and the 1-cost Lilo Snow Artist, which gets better if you got Stitch. You also got all the Stitch that got better when you got Lilo in play, like High Badass level, for example. You got all the other cards that work with small, fast characters, like you have Nani, and then you also have Stitch Rockstar and Lilo Rockstar that you can sift because you have lots of Lilos and you have lots of Stitch. And with Attack of the Vine, you also have the Lilo and Stitch team. It's really fun to play. The only thing you're missing is the good direct damage from Steel. We have to play Hot Potato, but that's about it. And as you can see, it's a very fast, very aggro deck, whatever you would expect from an Amber Steel aggressive deck. Another franchise that is really strong is Frozen. Frozen has a lot of cards, and you can build Frozen decks in a lot of different ways. My favorite one is to take the Sister Synergy. As you may see, it's very similar to the Lilo and Stitch style, where Lilo gets better if you have Stitch. In Frozen, you got a lot of Annas and Elsas that are better if you got Elsa or Anna, like the Trusted Sister and the Other Sister. You also got Anna Magical Mission and Elsa Icebreaker, which are really strong. You got an incredible removal in Into the Unknown and Let It Go. You also have Elsa Fifth Spirit, which is one of the strongest cards in the entire game. And you got the Spirit of Winter as well. I'm trying to not play legendaries. I usually leave the Spirit of Winter aside, but it's now a cheap legendary, so you can play it as well. Elsa's Ice Palace is one card that is usually overlooked. The Frozen deck, you can build it in other ways. You can think about putting Sven or Marshmallow, but I particularly like this version. So this is a mid-range deck that cares about exerting your opponent characters and control the board and making favorable challenges. If you're looking for a mid-range Plurple deck, Frozen is probably the one you're looking for. Another franchise that has a lot of cards in Lorcana is Mulan. And Mulan is your traditional Ruby Steel Aggro Challenger deck. You got a lot of different Mulans that have advantages on the challenge. You got Mushu, which gives even more advantages to challengers. You got the Shift Mulan, Imperial General, which makes everybody challenge-ready characters. And you got Lee Sang and the other Mulan that allow you to challenge ready characters as well. You got Medallion Weights that allows you to draw cards when challenging. You got the Shift Mulan Elite Archer. That card is broken, especially if you manage to make her attack ready characters, and you can shift it in pretty much any Mulan that you have. So this is really cool. Of course, you also have Strength of a Raging Fire, incredible removal. This deck is super strong and it's super fun to play. If you like challenging, this is your deck. One of my favorite movies for all time is Alice in Wonderland, so obviously I'm going to build an Alice in Wonderland theme deck, which I also played in the channel already. This deck is built around this particular Queen of Hearts. She makes everybody enter with damage, and then of course you're going to make advantage of it by playing the King, which makes all the damage characters your opponent's control not being able to challenge your characters. And then you have a lot of interesting queens that you can shift into her. You also have this other queen which makes you draw cards when you challenge characters. You got the big Cheshire Cat, which will allow you to banish characters that are damaged. You got the smaller Cheshire Cats to shift into it. You got your early drops are the Card Soldiers and Build the Lizard, which get better if there are damaged characters in play. Dormouse, such a simple 2-cost card. I absolutely love this card. And then you have the Haughty Monarch, which will quest for 6 if there are 5 or more damaged characters in play. Very likely there will be. And to round it all up, you got Alice, clumsy as it can be, which will eventually wipe out your opponent's board. This is a pseudo-control deck. It's not really like anything else I've seen, but it's super fun to play, and it's one of my favorite theme decks. These are some examples. I have a lot of other theme decks. I have an Emperor New Groove, which is not super strong, but very fun to play. I also have a Jafar Illusions deck, a Madrigal deck. There's lots of different decks, and each one of them can be built in different ways. I hope I have piqued your interest in trying theme decks or franchise decks. And as always, click on the subscribe button to join the Misfits crew and be in the loop for more content like this. And then, until next time.